All right, so before I show you what we're doing, which you can actually see, exercise one and two. Uh, when you're not sure, do I use for? Do I use since? Ask yourself for how long, since when. So remember, for how long would we, length of time. Let's see, we've been in this class for 12, 13 minutes. We've been in this class since 10:30, point in time. Since when? Since 10:30. I need to close this door. But that's what we're going to be doing. It's the present perfect with 4 cents. Now, 4 cents will be used, that's when you will be using this for your history and vision, which does not start until after midterm. So you might want to come back to this. Remember, all PowerPoints for the class are in the class folder. This is units 6 and 12. All right. All right. You're going to listen to Raul and Lionel talking at a sales conference. Where do they work? If you look in your book right now, that's a big, big hint. Where do they work? Look at this photos on page 80 and 81. Where do they work? Where is that? Burj Khalifa. Where is that? If you wanted to visit Burj Khalifa, where would you go? Dubai. That's where they work. So what you're going to listen for is when did they arrive? So when did they arrive in Dubai?
12.2.
When did you start selling here in Dubai, Lionel?
Well, we opened our first sales office in 2012, and that's when I moved here.
And how long did it take to get your foot in the market?
Well, we had disappointing results for the first 2 years. But since 2014, our business has increased by nearly 20%. The economy is really booming here.
That's great.
What about you, Raul? How long have you worked here?
I've been in Dubai for 3 years now.
Do you have a family here?
Yes, my wife and children moved here last year. What about you?
Who needs to hear it one more time? For when did they arrive? Anybody? Okay, that means you're ready. So, when did Lionel arrive? What year? Okay, yeah, good. Mingo? And when did Raul arrive? How many years ago? 3 years. 3 years ago. All right. For 1 through 5, you just heard it, underline or circle what you think is correct. And then I will ask who wants to read number 1, number 2, and so on. But I won't tell you if you're right or wrong. The audio will tell you. Because I will play it one more time after we do 1 through 5. So go ahead and take a look. You just heard this. And while you guys are doing that, I'll quickly check attendance. When I'm done with attendance, we can start. So that's how much time you have. Because I have two students not here. Dong Hyuk. Dong Hyuk not here, and Min Song. Right, so we have 20 students. Let's check. Okay. Okay, so that's it. So who would like to read number 1? Daehyun.
We open our first session. It's
2012, let's say 2012. All right, number 2. I think I'm gonna go group by group. Onji. All right. Number 3. Okay.
Since 2014, our business has increased by nearly 20%.
Number 4. It is one student per group, if you think about it. Dong Hyuk. Dong Hyuk. Yeah.
Oh, I'm something.
You have something?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Okay.
I've been in Dubai for 2 years now.
Anybody from this group? It's not number 5. Who? Anybody? Okay. Go ahead. All right. Let's listen. Oh, yeah, I just show you the answers. All right. All right, so here we go.
12.2. When did you start selling here in Dubai, Lionel?
Well, we opened our first sales office in 2012. And that's when I moved here.
And how long did it take to get your foot in the market?
Well, we had disappointing results for the first 2 years. But since 2014, our business has increased by nearly 20%. The economy is really booming here.
That's great.
What about you, Raul? How long have you worked here?
I've been in Dubai for 3 years now.
Do you have a family here?
Yes, my wife and children moved here last year. What about you?
Any questions? You think it's 1, but if you were wrong and you want to know why? All right. Language point. Using the present perfect with for and since. All right. First, we already know by now the past simple is used when actions start and finish in the past. Example from Raul and Lionel. Sentences 1, 2, and 5. We use the present perfect when an action starts in the past, but include now. Examples, sentences 3 and 4. All right, and just like I wrote on the board, we use since with the present perfect to give the starting point of an action, right? Since when? Sentence 3 would be an example. We use for with either one, present perfect, past simple, to describe the length of time. How long? Example sentences 2 and 4. Again, later when you're doing your history revision, or you see something like this on the test, on the written test, and you're not sure, just ask yourself, for how long? Since when? We will be going to page 129 later, but not now. All right, quickly, this should be easy now that you know all this. Again, if you're not sure, look on the board. Monday, don't raise your hand, this is just class. Yeah, since when? Since Monday. 3 months. For how long? For 3 months. 8 a.m. Yeah, I've been awake since 8 a.m. An hour. We have not quite been in this class for an hour. Last week. Since when? Since last week. I started. Since when? Since I started. A long time. For how long? For a long time. 2 days. For how long? For 2 days. The end of last year. Since when? Since the end of last year. And of course, the last one, you might use it when you're doing your history vision, but you do see this on a lot of companies. You know, they'll have since and then the year that the company opened. All right. And then this, normally these tips are usually on the bottom left or right. This is on the top of page 81. All right. This is a tip for what we're going to be doing next. We use how long when asking how long with the present perfect and the past simple. So it could be either one. We use when only with the past simple, not the present perfect, which means that right now you will be working only on the questions. Only on the questions 1 through 7. Now, number 1 is already done for you. Remember, as soon as you see when, you know it's simple past. You don't have to think about it. How long can be either one? And I'm going to give you one hint. There is one. How long using the simple past? If you think you found 2, you're wrong. Only 1. So right now, only the questions. Do not worry about the answers yet. Even though the book does show you the question and the answer. So right now, just work on what is the question going to be. We're doing this twice. So the first time we'll do it as a class, and the second time it will be one student asks, another student answers, then that student asks, and the next student will answer. Right now, just work on the questions. So, Julia, Julie Hill. All right, now everybody did get points here because it's only the question. So what would the first question be? We already know. When did Dubai earn 64% of its GDP from oil? If you're not sure what GDP means, just look at the bottom here. Gross domestic product. All right. Question 2. You don't have to raise your hand, just, what is it? What did you write? Yeah, we know it's how long. How long has? Right. How long has Dubai invested in services? All right. Question 3. It also is how long, but is this the one that's past tense? Has. No, it's not the one. How long has the government allowed non-nationals to buy property? Okay, we know that when is past tense. When did? When did the Mall of the Emirates open? Right. 5. How long? Yeah, how long has it? Present perfect. How long has Jumeirah, I can never pronounce that. Jumeirah had residents, people living there. And this is it. All right. So I think 6 is how long and 7 is when. So what is 6? How long did? I told you there'd be one, right? How long did it take to build Burj Khalifa Tower? And I have a bonus question for you. What construction company was used to build Burj Khalifa? What was the name of the construction company? It's not in the book. Samsung. Samsung. Yep. All right, and 7 is when, so we know it's past tense. When did? When did Dubai win the right to hold Expo 2020? All right, you have the questions. Now, you saw that brown box. Those are the answers. All right, the book shows the short answer, so I will allow the short answer. Or if you want to, you can answer using the long answer. So I need to open it up. Right. Just for this one example. Right. So even though somebody is going to answer this, even though it is in the book, the question is, when did Dubai earn 64% of its GDP from oil? The book answer is just in the 1970s. The long answer, of course, if you want, Dubai earned 64% of its GDP from oil. Again, I know most of you are going to choose the short answer, which is fine. But anyways, so here's how it's going to work. I already mentioned this once, and we've done this before. One student will ask number one, another student, actually, no, I will ask number one, sorry. A student will answer number one. That student will ask number two, and somebody will answer it. Then that student will ask number three, and they go around and around. If it's really quiet, if I'm like, okay, who wants to ask numbers five? And then I ask it. I've already had that happen where nobody raised their hand. So, all right. Who would like to answer number one? It's already in the book. Or you can go with the long answer. It's your choice. Okay, I mean, it's 3 points and somehow smart. All right, when did Dubai earn 64% of its GDP from oil?
Dubai earned 64% of its GDP from oil in the 1970s.
70s, right? He chose to go with the long answer, which is fine, or you can just.
How long has Dubai invested in services?
All right, who wants to answer that? Okay, me and John.
Since early 1990s.
Since the early 1990s, or for over 36 years. You can use, remember, you can use either one. All right,
The government allowed non-nationals by 2013.
who would like to answer that? I know I didn't give you time to look, so if you guys need a little bit of time for the rest of them, I'll give it to you. And then somebody can answer note number three. So right now, if you need time to look for the answers for 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, go ahead, and then don't worry, you do not have to ask this one more time. Oh, but somebody wants to answer it. Okay. So
The government allowed non-national body by property for the first time since 1999.
well, nothing about first time. The government has allowed non-nationals to buy property since 1999 or for over 27 years. You don't have to use first time. Don't ask yet. Because who needs time to look for the answers 4, 5, 6, and 7? Who needs time? Okay, go ahead, ask. Number 4. When?
Then the more of the Emirates opened.
I did see your hand go up. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Then,
2005.
2005, yeah, all of the Emirates opened in 2005. You could also answer with, years ago, if you wanted to. All right, I couldn't pronounce it, so don't worry if you can't pronounce it. Yeah, how long is
How we should religions.
anybody want to answer that? How long has it had residence, Yubin?
Since 2006.
Yep, it's had residence since 2006 or for over 20 years. Go ahead.
Need to hear the tourists coming from home.
Who would like to answer that? So it took Samsung how long to do this? Okay. Oh, I know you had to do a little math. Sung Hyun?
For 6 years.
Uh, well, it took Samsung 6 years to build Burj Khalifa Tower. I'm just adding that because I just told you who they used. All right, go ahead and ask the last question. Win the right
In the right to hold is for until 2020.
or 2020. Yes. When did they win the right? They
Dubai won the right for 2020 in 2020.
in 2013 or yeah, in 2013. You mean you could say how many years ago, but all right. If anybody needs to write or photo anything before we move on to page 129. You will see a red resume on page 129. There should be 129. It's exercise 1. Carefully, because there was a student yesterday who thought that the person was still working at this one shop. So carefully look at her resume with her qualifications and especially her work experience. Work experience. And of course, because you're in the back of the book, it explains more about present perfect using for tense. All right. Every sentence here is wrong. There's a grammar mistake in each sentence. So you will read it back to me correctly. That's what's happening here. Again, look at her resume carefully. Now you can write it or you can just put like a line through it and write on top. But all I want to hear is the correct version. So we have 7 sentences. I'll give you 3 minutes, maybe. That's more than enough time. All right, so who would like to read correctly sentence one? In the correct form. Dave?
I obtained my degree.
I obtained my degree in 2006. Two. Okay. Diane.
I have worked at iPhone only things is something.
Yeah, I've worked at Puma Shoes since 2013. Three. Can we look at the points? It looks like June's off.
I've been responsible for sales growth for several years.
I've been responsible for sales growth for several years. Four. Is that a tricky one? Geez,
I had been on citizen manager was the techniques for 3 years.
I was, again, read it very carefully. This is the one that people get mixed up. She doesn't work at Open Steps Fitness. So I was an assistant manager at One Step Fitness for 3 years. If you look at One Step, 2010 to 2013. So she's no longer there. 5. All right, Na-Yun. At One Step Fitness, I developed new activities. 6. Okay, don't know.
I worked as sales assistant for 4 years.
I worked as a sales assistant for 4 years, and the last one. Okay, on the. Right. I left One Step Fitness in 2013. All right, let's see if you remember your present perfect past simple and the 4 sense. Each group, one device. Take out your devices, each group will be a team. Take out your device. Has anybody ever played this? Has anyone ever played it? Then you already know. Then you already know what it is. Actually, I need to close this. All right, so. Please, it's going to be, there are 5 groups, 5 teams, because the free version only allows 10. Oh, I need to log in. Okay, there I am. By the way, if you make one for the class to play in English, I will give you extra points. If I don't help you, I will also play. If I help you a little bit, then no, I won't. This is, anyways, I'll start. So, it should be 5 teams. Whoever you think is the fastest and smartest on the team. And you can come up with any name you want, any team name you want. English, Korean, your company name, whatever you want, anything you want. So we already have, what, 2 teams? Yeah, we have 2 teams. I have 3 teams, 4 teams. All right. And here we go, 5 teams. Here we go. Oh, never mind. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Start.
I